preview of, well, game 4, which is we know where it's gonna head anyway. Whether it ends next game or whether it ends in game 5, I personally don't believe that the Bucks have a chance at winning this series. I think it's pretty much done.
No team has ever come back from 3-0.
I mean, even especially looking at Giannis, I think he injured his ankle a little bit in the last game as well. So whether or not he plays, he's not going to be 100%.
Even if he was 100%, it's the question of what can he do differently.
Well, he cannot keep picking up the ball at the perimeter.
No, but like it's not a thing where, like, when you look at, say, like LeBron, right, in this game 1, AD in this game 1, and you look at things that they have been able to do consistently in their career, and you go, you can do this differently. Like after game 1 against Portland, we were like, LeBron needs to be more aggressive. He needs to attack the hoop more. He needs to apply more pressure to the Portland defense because they have no one to defend him. It's the same thing in this series. That's why I'm not worried, because I'm like, AD should dominate in the post. I don't know why he's trying to play like he's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Go to work, go to the foul line. Get PJ Tucker in foul trouble.
It's true. Actually, even I'm gonna attach the video of what I'm about to speak about to the promo, because whoever broke Giannis, and by broke I mean I saw a tweet by Dev in the lab that was showing Giannis's jump shot early Bucks days. Somebody broke him because his jump shot looked smooth in oh my god, it looked like, who can I compare it to? It looked like a Brook Lopez kind of shot. It looked clean. Now Brook Lopez, we all know he can shoot, but in terms of his mechanics in comparison to like a guard, it's a bit more like clunky or phasey or whatever you want to say. But it's still a clean shot. And that's what Giannis has looked like back in the day. But now you see a jump shot, you see.
Even him from the free throw line, like he has his guide hand, his left hand behind the basketball. So he's shooting it like this.
It looks brazy.
He's shooting it like this. I can't even contort my body to do it properly. It hurts.
His jump shot.
Oh, you see it? It hurts.
Crazy. If I can find that, because boy, when I say his jump shot actually looked clean and it looked like he looked comfortable shooting. I'm not even saying he was the best shooter. Nobody's saying that. But he looked comfortable.
Nobody's saying anything. But I think that happens sometimes though. I think it happens. I think you get some people who like are very good at or are decent enough at a particular thing, and then they start doing it for a while, and when the pressure, like, because obviously now it's a case where like the pressure is way more on him for him to make those kind of shots, so perhaps that's messing with his head.
When I say his drop shot looked comfy, it looked
just analysing this now. Oh, and he was shooting with no hesitation.
He was pulling up. He was just pulling up. If he had that, that's a championship. That is a championship.
It's a bit. The release is a bit weird.
It's a bit, like I said, it's
a lot of risk, but it doesn't look like that smooth.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It was still a bit clunky, but it was a lot smoother.
He's releasing it at the top of his jump. Like his release is kind of just like that. It's like that. It's not necessarily smooth. It's like bang. There's a lot of pushing.
But it's still a lot more comfortable than what he's doing now.
He's not getting exceedingly high off the ground. Good rhythm.
Whoever broke him cost Bucks a championship. Somebody broke him.
Scary.
Because what he's doing now does not look the same. It does not look
It doesn't look the same because it's not the same. It's worse. It's definitely worse.
They broke him. If Giannis had that in his locker, boy, he'd be MVP for a few seasons.
Well, not my MVP. I'll take it back. Not my defensive player of the year either. I'm sorry. I like to look at things holistically. And I don't understand how, because Jimmy went off again.
He did.
Last night. Jimmy went off again. And you have all the capabilities. You have the size, you have the quickness. Because Jimmy isn't the fastest player. He's not the best shooter, but he's determined. Jimmy had a trash game too. Like, I don't get it. You're the MVP, but you can't perform in the fourth quarter because your game just doesn't allow you. You're the defensive player of the year, but you don't want to take the toughest defensive assignment. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. People try to say LeBron couldn't defend anymore because he chose not to. Like,
I mean, especially with Jimmy Butler, I feel like there has to come a point where we have to give Jimmy Butler the respect that he deserves. Because Jimmy Butler,
we as in
not as in us, as in,
okay, because we've been giving Jimmy.
Oh yeah, no, we know this. I mean, as a wider basketball community.
Yeah.
I feel like as a wider basketball community, Jimmy Butler, since his time at the Bulls, has consistently shown us that he's the man.
Yeah.
Consistently shown us that he's the man. Yet time and time again, we leave him out of the conversation of best players in the NBA. In terms of the top players in the NBA. And rightly so in terms of maybe numbers and maybe
skill set,
shooting percentages, all of that, etc., etc. But in terms of his ability to affect wins,
I would want him on my team.
Many people would want him on his team, but I don't feel like enough weight is given to his ability to affect wins, because every team that he's been on, he has been a huge deciding factor in them getting wins.
Facts.
Now, we speak about players with the big numbers. We speak about players that can rack up assists. We speak about players that can get double-doubles, triple-doubles, etc., etc. But how much do we speak about the fact that Jimmy has been the reason that the Bulls, the 76ers, and
the
now
Bulls haven't been to the playoffs since he left. The Timberwolves have been to the playoffs, I think, once in 50 years.
Timberwolves, I even forgot about them. Wow, that was a short stint.
I mean, the Timberwolves have been to the playoffs once since Kevin Garnett left, and that was with Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy had them in like top 4 seeding. He got injured. They were out of the playoffs. He came back. He just scraped them into the 7th seed, and they lost in the first round, I believe. Who did they play in first in the 7th round? No, they had 8th seed, or were they the Timberwolves that season? Were they the 8th seed or the 7th seed? I think they were the 8th seed because they went down to the last game against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'll say 8th seed, and I think they lost to the Warriors.
If against the Nuggets, then it might be 7th seed then.
No, as in it went down to the last game of the season
to
get into the playoffs.
Oh,
it was the last time the Nuggets missed the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Timberwolves this season now have the number 1 pick. Make of that what you will. I make of it that they're trash. And then he goes to Philly, as we mentioned, and they were a shot away from making the conference finals. Making the conference finals, making the conference finals, and now Philly gets swept in, I was going to say swept in 4 games, like that's not what it means. But they get swept by the Celtics in round 1. And now we see he's on the Heat. The Heat last year didn't make the playoffs. Now they're on the verge of the conference finals. You're right. He impacts winning, and the reason why he impacts winning, the reason why so many of us were like, this is so perfect him being in the Heat, is because, plain and simple, he wants to win. And he will do whatever it takes to win on both sides of the ball. And he's a gamer. And 4th quarter, he turns up, man. He turns up. My guy said, I did not bring friends and family because this is a business trip. It's a business trip.
Business.
And if I was Hana, based on what I've seen from the people who have their families present, I would be sending mine back.
Honestly.
Because Giannis has his little boy with him and it's cute, it's adorable. Oh, he's down 3. Friend of mine, little girl was like, Daddy, cute, adorable. Down 2-1. Listen, I'd be like, stay where you are.
I love you.
I love
you. Have to go.
This is business. This is business. I see you when I see you.
Honestly.
Excuse me. Because Jimmy's just been balling, and you said the whole team was like misfits. I don't know if misfits is necessarily.
It might not be the right word, but it's a team.
Full of people who have been overlooked.
Yeah. That's what I was
overlooked.
Because you have Jay Crowder, you have Olynyk. Both of them they used to be on the Celtics. Both of them. Both of them have been moved multiple times since then.
Yeah.
You
Andre
have Iguodala, very old player now. He's 35.
Still very valuable.
Who else have you got? You got Duncan Robinson, started off D3.
Averaged 9 points in his senior year of college.
And now look at him. He's shining and glistening.
Now he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
The only one there that isn't a misfits, so to speak, or the only two might be Bam and Hero. But that's it. Kendrick, none.
But still, to an extent, overlooked.
Overlooked though.
Like,
well,
you look.
Hero wasn't overlooked. Let me not even count. He's never been overlooked. He was a fairly high draft pick, and everybody had respect for him. But the rest of them, for sure, overlooked. Even Goran Dragic is kind of like European that hasn't really received.
I mean, just by virtue of being European in this league, you are overlooked.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. It's a team full of people that have been overlooked.
Eric Spoelstra.
Overlooked. I mean, besides Miami Heat championship days, but
not even then. Like, it's one of those ones. He was in a similar situation to Ty Lue in the sense that it's like, oh, yeah, you won a championship as a coach, but you had LeBron James. And you had Dwayne Wade, and you had Chris Bosh. And even now, you look at the media and everyone's talking about Pat Riley. And yes, Pat Riley is the godfather of the Heat. Every single bit of success comes down to his mentality, his attitude, his determination to win. And the fact that he's so heavily invested in the team because he owned part of it. That was an immaculate deal, by the way. Well done, my hat to you, sir. But Eric Spoelstra has been there. From video coordinator, worked his way up, assistant coach, head coach, he's been there. He embodies every single bit of that team. I just want to know, how do you manage to get from video coordinator to that? Flipping that, mate. Hustle. Every day young hustle. And that's a perfect reference because Rick Ross is from Miami.
But yeah, if you look at, like, obviously, you just said Spoelstra. And speaking about LeBron and all these people, talent only gets you so far. Look at the 76ers. They have a lot of it.
Right.
They have a lot of it. They have Ben Simmons, they have Embiid, arguably two of the top young players in the NBA. But have they gone anywhere?
You gotta figure it out.
Have they gone anywhere? So
I mean, D'Antoni's had a lot of talent in his career. Like you gotta make it work, man.
You have to. So
you have to make it work.
Like the Heat team's full of people that have been overlooked by Jimmy. But before they got Jimmy, they weren't doing much. I mean, they were pretty much a middle of the pack team. They've been that for a while, middle of the pack to the bottom of the East for a while. Jimmy comes in. And look at them now. Jimmy has come in and absolutely changed things for them. He's given them a player that can take over. And this guy has shown at every single team that he's been on that he can take over. So when are we gonna, not us as a podcast, but us as a wider basketball community, gonna show Jimmy the respect that deserves and say, when are we gonna put him in the conversation of top players in the league?
Honestly, when he starts pulling off from 40.